Assalamualaikum and selamat sejahtera. Today we are from Group 7. We'll present our first Account 407 group project. The business that we chose is NHAA Enterprise. First, let me introduce the team members of Group 7. We have IFFAH NAJIHAH Binti Muhammad ZAIN, NURUL ANISA SOLEHHA Binti Muhammad AFIQ, and last but not least, ATHIRAH Binti Muhammad ASRI. The topic that we will discuss in this presentation will be the background of the business, the characteristic of the business, the classification of the business item, the recording process of the business, and the strengths and weaknesses based on the recording process in the business. So let's take a look at the location and what's inside the NHAA Enterprise.
I'm going to explain about the business background of NHAA Enterprise. NHAA Enterprise is a sole proprietorship business. It is a retail store which is founded by Mrs. Nurziana Binti Hussein in 2009 and they hire only one worker. NHAA Enterprise registered under Suruhanjaya Syarikat Malaysia SSM to run their business. This business sells a wide variety of goods for the daily use of the community. When someone can get everything they need easily and save time, there is a lot more convenient for them to buy at this retail store. NHAA Enterprise provides dairy goods, biscuits, groceries, processed food and others. Mrs. Nurziana started the business with 2,000 ringgit using her own money and then she bought in a car amounted 58,000 ringgit. She intends to obtain the higher level of profit in her business. The earning range is around 4,000 to 5,000 ringgit. In addition, the owner, which is Mrs. Nurziana, did a part-time job to earn money before she permanently opening this shop to sell her goods in 2008 until now. The management and control of this business was done by the owner itself and this business has been operating for 13 years from 2009. NHAA Enterprise is located at number 17 Pasar Awam 48010 Bandar Sungai Buaya, Rawang, Selangor. It is in a strategic area because the shop is in a neighborhood area which is the people can come to this shop because it is near and easy for them to buy the groceries, especially housewife. They sell product at a reasonable price to meet the demand of the customer. NHAA Enterprise is open daily from 7 AM until 12 AM. It will close in the special occasion such as Deepavali, Chinese New Year and Hari Raya Aidilfitri. Next, I will discuss about the business characteristic. The first characteristic is registration. No matter in which type of business the company is engaged, it should be legal in the eyes of the law or else it will not be considered as business. As a sole proprietorship, NHAA Enterprise registered under Suruhanjaya Syarikat Malaysia SSM to run their business, which is the certificate that also need to be provided by all the business in Malaysia. The second characteristic is NHAA Enterprise involved in economic activities. This business is economic activities as it is conducted with the primary objective of earning money for an economic motive and it is the retail store where customers take a decision to buy a commodity at the spot. It also knows the customer mentality and buying behavior. Other than that, it also provides employment opportunities. The other characteristic is in terms of capital. NHAA Enterprise capital is contributed by the owner named Nurziana Binti Hussein. The business opening capital is started with 2,000 ringgit cash come from the owner personal savings as a start The business bought in a car amounted RM58,000. Next, ownership. NHAA Enterprise is owned by one person, which is the owner. It also managed and controlled by the owner itself. Liability is the other characteristic for NHAA Enterprise. As a sole proprietorship, the business has unlimited liability, which means the owner personally liable for all the debts of the business, but if the owner gain profit, the profit is all owned by itself. However, NHAA Enterprise has no liability at all. Next, in terms of profit or loss. Profit is an indicator of success and failure of business. Profit acts as a driving force behind all business activities. As NHAA Enterprise is a sole proprietorship, profit belongs to the owner and any loss incurred will be borne by the owner as well. Only Mrs. Nurziana as the owner will take the responsibility on the activity that will take risk on her business. And the last characteristic is book of account. There is no legal obligation to keep the books and prepare accounts for NHAA Enterprise. That's all from me. I will pass to my fellow presenter to continue this presentation.
To continue the discussion, I would like to explain about the classification of business item in NHAA Enterprise, which is assets and liability. For assets, there are two types of assets, which is non-current assets and current assets. Non-current assets are a company's long-term investments that are not easily converted to cash or are not expected to become cash within an accounting year. It is also known as long-term assets. Their costs are allocated over the number of years the assets is used and appear on a company's balance sheet. Non-current assets fall under three major categories, which is tangible assets, intangible assets, and natural resources. For instance, NHAA Enterprise has property, equipment, furniture, and fittings as non-current assets. Next, current assets are assets that are either cash or can be converted into cash within 1 year. These assets constantly change their form during an accounting period. For example, NHAA Enterprise has inventories, bank, and sales as current assets. Next, liabilities are funds supplied by external parties to the business for the acquisition of assets. It is therefore the financial obligation of the business to external parties. There are two types of liabilities, which is non-current liabilities and current liabilities. For NHAA Enterprise, there are no liabilities as business items. In accounting, a capital account is a general ledger account that is used to record the owners contribute capital and retain earnings. The cumulative amount of a company's earnings since it was formed minus the cumulative dividends paid to the shareholders. NHAA Enterprise has cash and car as capital. Other than that, revenue is the money generated from normal business operations calculated as the average sales price times the number of units sold. It is the top line or gross income figure from which costs are subtracted to determine net income. Revenue is also known as sales on the income statement. Sales are one of the examples of revenues. Last but not least, an expenses in accounting is the money spent or cost incurred by a business in their effort to generate revenues. Essentially, accounts expenses represent the cost of doing business. They are the sum of all the activities that hopefully generate a profit. It is important to understand the difference between costs and expenses, since they each have a distinct meaning in accounting. Cost is the monetary measure cash that has been given up in order to buy an asset. An expense is a cost that has expired or been taken up by activities that help generate revenue. Therefore, all expenses are costs, but not all costs are expenses. For an NHAA Enterprise, electricity bill, water bill, car fuel, purchases of goods, worker salary, and previous monthly payment are the example of expenses in business. That's all from me. Thank you.
I am going to talk about how NHAA Enterprise do the recording process of their business. NHAA Enterprise is a retailing business that provides and sells groceries to people in Sungai Buaya. This business has one main recording process, which is the source documents. NHAA Enterprise use Microsoft Excel as their main application, where they use to keep track on their expenses of their daily business. As example, the owner of NHAA Enterprise record the cash flow of money that goes in and out from the business. NHAA Enterprise jotted down the cash flow of the business at the end of the day based on the sales they receive. The owner also records every amount of cash that the business have to spend. According to the owner of NHAA Enterprise, she started this business 14 years ago. When she first started the business, the owner of NHAA Enterprise did some other recording process, which are the journal entry and ledger. The owner even prepared the statement of profit or loss to keep track of her business to run smoothly. But now, due to her getting older, she only remained the source documents as her business main recording process, as there is no obligation for a sole proprietorship business to keep the book and prepare accounts. In a nutshell, only source document left as the main recording of NHAA Enterprise. Now, I will explain the strengths and weaknesses that I got from the business recording process. I will dive into the positive side of doing this type of recording process. First, it helps to maintain the business records. By recording the transaction, NHAA Enterprise can monitor the cash flow that goes in and out. NHAA Enterprise owner stated that she recorded the cash flow in Microsoft Excel at the end of the day so that she can conclude on how many she received and spent on that day. Second strength that the owner get by the recording process is that it can be seen as the legal proof. Every transaction will be recorded in Microsoft Excel so that there would not be any shortage amount of money. The Microsoft Excel works as the legal evidence so that NHAA Enterprise do not have to worry about the shortage and run their business smoothly. Thirdly, by recording the information of their money cash flow in the Microsoft Excel, it can help to prevent and detect any fraud activities that happen in the business. By having the systematic order during the recording process, the management of NHAA Enterprise can detect any error that happen in the business. By maintaining the systematic order of this process, NHAA Enterprise can analyze and prevent fraud from happening. Let us moving on to the weaknesses of having this recording process. First, a manipulation of record can happen. NHAA Enterprise use Microsoft Excel as the main application of the recording process for source documents. Microsoft Excel can be edited by irresponsible individuals that might use the cache for their personal use. Cheats may occur if the management of NHAA Enterprise do not secure the record well. Next, it may provide incorrect information during the recording process. The capability of the owner to memorize all the transactions that happen in a day may lead to assumptions and not accurate at all. The insufficient information provided by the management of NHAA Enterprise may cause shortage or excessive amount of unknown cash. That may result NHAA Enterprise from not getting the exact record of cash flow on that day. So, in this presentation, we have discussed the background of the business, the characteristic of the business, the classification of the business item, the recording process of the business, and the strengths and weaknesses of the recording process in this business. So that's the cue for us to end our presentation. Thank you for watching.